Hey everybody, Hambo back here at the table along with America's Chicken, and just some stuff I had laying around. I picked up a couple things at the outdoor store today. I went out to buy a shirt, and I came home with a whole bunch of stuff as usual. But anyway, I've been checking out a lot of your channels. A lot of you have been nice enough to been subscribing lately, and good luck if you're entering the 150 contest. But I've also been subscribing to a bunch of channels for people that have been subscribing to me, and it's been a lot of fun. And there's a lot of really good stuff out there, and you know who you are. But I have noticed that a lot of the younger guys have been working on folders, and that's cool because you can carry a folder a lot easier. But eventually, when they get to fixed blades, they pull out these huge Rambo clones or these giant Bowie knives, and it's just not very practical. Now, from a collector's standpoint, yeah, I can see that. But at some point, in a pack, on your belt, for some situation, you may want to be going out with a slightly larger knife. And as anybody who collects knives will tell you, bigger is not necessarily better. Now, remember, I'm the guy that's saying this that has the Beast and the BK2, and I'm looking at buying other larger knives, but I actually use them out and about. But I came across some stuff today that is within just about anybody's price range, that from either a collector standpoint or a use standpoint, I don't think it's such a bad idea. Here's the first thing. Winchester. Now, I found this at Gander Mountain today. Now, Winchester is made by the Carolina Knife and Tool Company. They make some halfway decent blades. They're kind of a bulk manufacturer. They manufacture a lot of knives. They forge a lot of knives under a couple of different product names. Now, this is the Winchester Signature Series fixed blade knife. That's the only thing. There's no real model number except for this large one, which I'll put in the notes down below. But anyway, what you get, and I'd actually gotten this because I was going to make this a gift to my nephew, and I still might, but then again, I might not. It comes in this little metal tin, and underneath is the sheath, and I just realized I've got the blade in backwards. There you go. But here's what comes out. Now, this is a fixed blade drop point hunting knife, probably 420 stainless steel. There isn't a lot of details on the packaging. It comes in clear packaging. There's no box, just this tin, and the sheath is pretty superficial. The sheath is just basically there so you don't slice your fingers off. It's not going to do much for you. I can't even tell you how good it protects the edge, but it does come out fairly sharp out of the package. And the thing I liked about it from a collection standpoint, I don't know if you can see this etching. This appears to be laser etching, possibly chemical etching, on the metal portions that bracket the scales on either side. That does have the Winchester logo, and this appears to be actually composite wood in the handle. It is a full tang blade, okay, as any good fixed blade should be. It's got some excellent jimping on the top, and the choil is actually fairly comfortable, even for paws my size. So this is a good controllable knife. It's fairly well balanced. It's a little bit butt heavy, but not bad. This knife, right now, and I found it at Walmart too, this knife is running about $15. Okay, I paid $14.95, so $15. It's got a nice lanyard loop on it. The only thing is, you could tell it's stamped metal for a reason. The edges are not quite filed down. When they put the scales on, it fit into the inserts on this full tang frame, and the edges are sharp. If you hold this in your hand, your skin will catch on some parts of the cornered edges of these stamp outs. So if you're so inclined, standard Allen wrenches, you can take these scales off and just file down the edges on this, but then that would solve it. But as far as gripability, you know, it's a standard wooden grip, so it's not as super grippy as some of the rubber or G10 handles. But I'll tell you what, It's not a bad quality blade. It's very solid. Overall length is about, well, let's take a ruler here and measure it. Overall length is 8 inches. 3.5 inch blade. And you know, if you're just starting out and you're looking for a knife either for just a inexpensive add-on to your collection or actually something that you'd want to carry, that Winchester isn't bad. Again, the numbers down below. Fred approved. Now, the other one is one I bought on the advice of my good friend Gafku. You all know him, and I'm sure you follow his channel. He actually did a video on this very recently that kind of piqued my interest. This is the BUCKLITE little fixed blade from Buck, model 673. And what you get, as you've seen on Gavku's video, and he does a much better video on this than I do. This, I've always liked Buck's quality. I think their steel is very solid. I think they're very well balanced. And the grind is very good on this as well. Mike did something to alter the grind in his. I don't remember the video, but I'm going to go back and watch it. And he also made a Kydex sheath for it, because again, this is that heavy-duty nylon with the plastic insert in it, and I can guarantee it's going to ruin the edge on this after a while. It's just not that much of a sheath. But this is a very well balanced little knife, and this rubberized handle that they have on it is extraordinarily grippy. Where the Winchester was marginal, this is extraordinarily controllable. It has a little bit of a choil on it, but that's just comfortable enough, even with large hands, with the jimping, to give you some really good control on this blade. Okay, $22. Again, if you're someone who's just starting out collecting knives, or if you're looking for a little belt knife that you can carry around that's probably going to meet your local ordinance, this is not a bad choice. It's very controllable. It's easy in the hand. You're not going to lose control in wet or oily or something situations. It's a good, positive control, medium blade knife. And I think it's a really good choice. Again, that's the BUCKLITE. I'm going to take this Winchester and put it over here. And then there's two others. Just going over again, you've seen both of these on videos of mine before, but I have to say something about this Smith & Wesson GUIDEMASTER wide blade. This is available on eBay for pennies, and I've seen them go as little as $3. Okay, now this is actually a decent piece of steel. It's their CKGMF. Now it's a stamp blade, but I'll tell you what, these things, first of all, are wide enough to do some batoning if you were to take it out. It's got an amazing jimp on it. Look at that. That's just, you can put two people's thumbs on that thing. The choil is good. It doesn't have much of a close-up control, but you've still got enough with a fingertip that you could do some close-up work with it. Now, I have seen people use this little notch right here, although that minor choil is just to help with the sharpening. There are some people that have been using fire starters in that little notch, and that works fairly well. Now, it comes with very, very cheap shoestring, not even paracord, shoestring. A paracord wrap on this is good. My other one's upstairs on my pack. I took an old bicycle inner tube from a racing tire, like a 10-speed bike, and that fit on here perfectly, and it molded right to it. I ended it right about there. So there's not much, but they gave me just enough gripability that I could control the knife very well. But this is actually not a bad piece of steel, and I like the wide blade because that gives you enough versatility to do a lot of different things with this. And even though this sheath is horrible, and I know it's taking some of the edge off, so maybe another project, but it does do something that I like, and that's the fact that it allows for a horizontal carry along the belt line, and that does draw out. These things, forget it. They're mismatched, they're mismeasured, and on my other sheath I basically just cut them off. But if the compression is right on the retention rather is right on the sheath, it actually holds the blade pretty well. This one holds adequately. It's not the best, but it gives you the idea. But for the amount of money you're going to pay for this knife, any modifications you do or add to it is worth the money, because in the end You're not going to spend a lot, and you're going to get a very good, it's a basic knife. Okay, I'm not going to compare this to even a Buck or a Kershaw or a K-bar or anything else. This is just a simple working man's knife. But it is versatile, and for the money, I don't think it's that bad of a deal. But do yourself a favor, if you do get one of these, either make a PVC sheath for it, which I'm probably going to do, or get a Kydex sheath for it, or even a leather sheath. This is not good. It's going to dull the blade, and it's going to ruin things eventually. And besides that, still, try to figure out what the hell this is for. Okay, why is the Buck? It does no purpose. I don't know. It's just they're doing some really amazing drugs at Smith & Wesson. That's all I can tell you. But there's that one. And the final one, real quick, is from one of the higher end companies. Again, this is a very early prototype. I didn't even make a secondary sheath for this yet, but I will. This is the Kershaw Antelope Hunter. Now, there's some other people in the group here that have done videos on this already. They've been very well pleased with this. Probably out of all these knives, maybe even including the Buck, some of the best bang for the buck. Now, this is actually a modification of one of their kitchen knives. Kershaw is owned by Kai, or vice versa, but Kai is the company that makes their kitchen knives, and this is a Kai 1028. So the Antelope Hunter is actually one of their kitchen blades with slight modification with the jimping, and a very, very good ergonomic grip on this. Again, this is their rubberized, I don't think it's G10, but it is designed to be held in, well, let's face it, they call it a skinning knife, so it's designed to be held when there's blood on your hands. Okay? It may be the perfect knife to go visit your mother-in-law with, but that's another story. Anyway, very nice drop point, and you all know the quality of a Kershaw blade. There are those of you out there that are big Kershaw fans, and deservedly so. I like their knives, I really do. But if you're looking for a medium size fixed blade from a very high quality maker, here's another good one. Now, there are other ones out there. We haven't even gone through them all yet, but just a suggestion. You've got the Springfield Guidemaster wide blade, the Kershaw Antelope Hunter, the BUCKLITE, and this Winchester thing, which basically is a good display knife, but it actually has a halfway decent blade on it, and for 15 bucks, you can't go wrong. Anyway, that's it. Fred's going to be gone for the next couple of days. He's taking a little vacation trip up north to see a good friend of ours, and mystical things may happen, but he'll be back very, very soon. He'll be back in time for the contest drawing. So, everybody, have fun, stay safe. We'll see you next time.